Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Asset Ambitions podcast. I'm your host, Mathieu Jacques, and today I'm bringing you a very different episode. I'm going to be on my own today. There's no guest with me, and it'll be a shorter episode, don't you worry, though bear with me. Um, Basically, I'm here to bring a big announcement. I am going on my own as a realtor. I'm starting my own group, which is the Asset Ambitions Group that I've called it, which is pretty much the same as the podcast name, Asset Ambitions Podcast. I think this is a very inspirational name and very familiar, encouraging name that brings motivation. And that is pretty much my goal with this podcast here. And hopefully, I can help people attain their real estate goals as well with this business venture. So for a bit of a background that I want to start by giving you, I am 24 years old. I'm originated from a small town called Hearst, Ontario. It is in the northern way from Ottawa. It's about 10 hours from here. Now I live in Limoges, which is 25 minutes east of Ottawa, another small French town. I feel very familiar there. But it is time for me to take yet another leap. I took a leap when I came down from Hearst to Ottawa to start my real estate journey with another team. But now I am starting my own as I want to bring my own visions to the market. So hopefully they recognize it. So this is the 15th episode that I'm hosting here today, and I'll be switching topics from one to the other, but I want to start with my business journey so far, how it's been going, what I can expect in the future, and then we'll move on to inspiring young entrepreneurs. And then after that, I want to manifest the destiny of the Asset Ambitions Group, as I'm a strong believer in manifesting your destiny. So to start my journey, I've always dreamed of having my own business. I knew it would happen one day, and I had this sense of urgency wanting it to happen as soon as possible. Like pretty much any other thing, I bought a house as soon as I could. I took the leap out of the small town I used to live in as soon as I could. So really, I just want independence, and the goal is to bring my vision to the market, and hopefully it recognizes it. I took some actions. Here are the actions I've taken so far. I've incorporated, so I now have my very own corporation, which feels amazing to say. I have came up with the name Asset Ambitions Group, and then the Asset Ambitions Podcast, which is another business venture that I have. And hopefully we can make this into a bigger thing, and maybe there'll be Asset Ambitions investments in the future, or, we'll see where we can take this. I've built a website now for the team, which is amazing, and I'll be linking it down here if ever you want to take a look at it. I've designed some logos, grabbed domain names, and the amount of decisions that have been made in the last few days has been crazy, actually, and it's amazing. It's fun. It relies upon the business owner to take many decisions, especially when it's a solo organization like this. Now I'm alongside with my girlfriend, Isabelle Culverhouse. She's helping me with the foundation of this business. She will help me with the social media side, among other things like marketing and whatnot, which is amazing to have her support in this journey. So here are things that I've faced so far that I think were a bit of hardships, but I'm getting already better at, is time management. Time management when you're a realtor is already a struggle, as you have a lot of things to do on your plate, a lot of clients to please at the same time. But now I'm also launching this business, so it's been hard to kind of manage every single thing all at once. But it's going quite well. I'm well surrounded, like I've said. My parents are also helping me through this journey, and it's just so meaningful. And you know what? It's not even a rush for it to be launched, as I can still help, buyers or renters at the moment. Sellers, it may take a bit more of a while as I'm waiting on some signs to come in, but as soon as I have that, I can give every single service that any other real estate competitor out there does. So this is pretty much all we're waiting for now. So I just wanted to highlight the lesson that I've learned. I just talked about it a little bit, but resilience is everything. because there are a lot of decisions that you're going to need to take. What color am I going to go with the logo? What secondary color will it be on the website? When is the launching date? What is the bio that I'll do in this social media profile? And then in that social media profile, there's more words in that one. Which social media accounts do I link to one another? What is the core values of the business? So there's always decisions and decisions and decisions coming at you. The quicker you're able to implement them and put your finger on the right decision, the better. As if you're stalling for one decision or you're waiting for something to happen, it won't just happen. You're the proprietor of that business, and you need to make those decisions for the things to move forward. So now to reflect on the progress, I've done pretty much all of the digital material. So I have all the logos already done, the website already done, and I'm focusing on building a solid foundation. I don't want to rush into this. I feel like having a business like this, it must have a solid foundation that then can be built upon, and perhaps, there can be other team members in the future. So if ever you're an aspiring realtor or whatnot, feel free to reach out, and I'll be there to help you in your journey as well. Entrepreneur's Chaos is rewarding. I love the grind and I love the growth. It's not made for everyone, but if you have that inside you, if your instinct is telling you you're destined for more, you can do more, you're at a job right now and you have some vision, you have a goal that you were giving yourself, and now you're kind of stagnating, you're staying at this job because it's good income, you don't want to take the leap. Trust me, listen to that instinct. You will thank yourself. If you're an entrepreneur, from one entrepreneur to another, I know you have that voice in your head telling you that you're destined for more. Follow that calling. And it's the free market. It's the free market. It's amazing. The free market of ideas means that you can bring your idea to market. You can bring your vision, your business, and if there's value provided, theoretically, the market will recognize it and give you back some monetary value in exchange for your services or your goods that you're providing to it, among any other thing that you can provide to the marketplace. Free market, we're lucky that we have that here. We live in a capitalistic country. We're able to launch businesses like that. We're able to bring our ideas and see if people think that it's worth something. And if it is, you'll be rewarding accordingly. And that's amazing. There's some places that people live in, say for example, China or some other communist countries, where you're unable to launch your own ideas to the market, and you must consume by the monopolies that are already established. Now, there are a lot of monopolies here, don't get me wrong, but the little guy can also win in a capitalistic country like this. So now I want to move on to inspiring young entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs in general. So I just want to give some things I've learned, to the extent that I'm in a position to give some insights and some things that I've learned. Listen to this. If you can take away one thing, I'm feeling good with this podcast. So, firstly, the biggest risk that you can take is not taking any risk at all. What I mean by that is that a lot of people, when I was mentioning that I want to start this business and I want to go on my own, they were telling me it's risky, you might want to stay with the team that you're currently with, absorb more information, this is a risky path, you're taking on a big risk. I've never been scared of risk. I love risk, and in my opinion, over a long enough time span, if ever you do not take risk, you are guaranteed to not be able to outperform the returns of the market or the returns of anything that is worth trying to attain. If you're staying at a job for 10 years straight and your salary goes up say 2-3% a year, which I don't even think is the average. Though the inflation rate or the monetary expansion rate is something like 5 to 7% a year, and I think it's more so 9 to 10% in the last few years in the Canadian dollar against, scarce asset, which is what people want to buy: houses, Lamborghini, a yacht. You want to buy things that shows that you have acquired wealth. But people are having a hard time to see themselves even acquiring those things, even though they may wish to. And I think that's part of why. It's because there's no risk being taken, so there's no disproportionate reward. So just to circle back, the biggest risk that you can take is not taking risk at all. The second point I want to make is you're going to want to work like the 1% if you want to be in the 1%. You got to do what the 99% are not willing to. So that means, for example, Jeff Bezos, he started Amazon. It started from the ground. It was a small corporation. Now, yes, he crowdfunded some money and got into the capital markets to be able to grow as big as he is today. But he never let go of his vision. In my opinion, the 1% is not like a bracket of income or something like that. I don't like to see it like that. I feel like the 1% is actually the 1% that stays true to what they said that they were going to do and their vision. They stay true to their instinct, their vision, and they implement it until it gets recognized in the marketplace. And maybe, yes, you do make disproportionate income if it's a good idea. For sure, that makes total sense. But they never give up. You look at Jeff Bezos, like I said, Amazon, in its earlier days, it was just a small, digital storefront. Now it's a big, huge digital storefront that you can name whatever you want to consume and you'll be able to buy it from that website and have it shipped to your place within 7 days. It's at your home, even if it's a big thing and it comes from abroad. So that's a disproportionate amount of sole focus on providing his value, which is the digital storefront for everyone pretty much on earth. Some countries do not use that service, but most do. Another example is Mark Zuckerberg, for example. That guy started Facebook in his earlier days when he was in school, and now it's culminated to actually acquiring Meta, acquiring Oculus Rift, acquiring Instagram. They're looking into Snapchat. So what his goal was in his earlier days was to give a platform for digital relationships, and just solely in his school campus. But now today, they have billions of users worldwide on all of their platforms. So he never let go of his view of giving digital relationship ways to connect with your people. He's buying some VR companies right now, virtual reality goggles that you put on your face, that you're able to be virtually at proximity to your friends, which is a technology that's growing exponentially at the moment, and I believe is going to become bigger and bigger, and he's positioning himself very well to capitalize on that business. And it all comes from his drive to giving people a way to connect digitally. So another point, you're going to want to outwork and outpace the competitors to gain market recognition. Now, that's not going to be easy, but here are 2 ways that you can do it. Implement things quicker and faster. So that means implement them by making decisions quicker than your competitors, or act much faster. What we have as an advantage here, or me anyways, and a lot of the youth out there, is we're young. We have a lot of time on our hands. We're able to focus on our businesses like that. There's no family in the portrait at the moment. There's less responsibilities in the portrait at the moment. Our parents are still at an age that they're able to take care of themselves, and we will be able to take care of themselves in the future, but we must expand upon our ideas in the marketplace to be able to take care of our people in the future and our family and have children and have a nice household. The second way that you can outpace the market is by bringing a new idea. All the older ideas in the real estate marketplace, they've been used, they've been milked, they have been exploited, and that's okay. That makes total sense. Why not exploit things that work? But when they've already been exploited, it's time to expand and bring new ideas. And with those new ideas, you can then have a bigger pie of the market because it provides more value than your competitors that do it the old-fashioned way. Focus your energy. What I mean by that is we have a limit amount of energy in our weeks, in our days, in our months, in our years, and that energy, wherever it is focused, that thing is growing. So if you focus it on your business, and solely on your business, when you have good, positive, strong energy, you keep reinforcing that business and making it more solid, and it's going well. If you use that energy to consume on social media, or you use that energy to simply for hobbies that you spend so much money and time on, and maybe you're spending a bit too much compared to the amount of income that you're making, or if you're sitting on the couch and you're watching TV and consuming good foods and whatnot, among perhaps other substances, that is energy that is being taken away. It cannot be created or destroyed. Energy can only be transferred. So if you transfer it into your vision and your business that you want to bring to the market, that's when you'll be able to build generational wealth and have a family and have a prosperous bloodline. The next point, believe in yourself and do not let people distract you from your mission. The people that don't believe in you, you don't need to take care of them. You don't need to care about what they have to say. You don't need to listen to those ideas. Surround yourself of people that do believe in you. Make it so your environment is an environment that you like to be in. It's people that encourage you. It's people that have positive views. It's people that believe that your business will come to fruition and everything will work out, even in some hard times like I'm currently going through while starting the business. It's harsh, a start of a business like that, but it gives a long vision of the future, which is beautiful. It's beautiful. So you've been brought on earth here for a reason, and make sure that that reason counts. This other point is a big one for me. You're going to want to embrace discomfort. Embracing discomfort is probably my strongest, my strong suit. Embracing discomfort is being able to put off the temporary hedonistic comforts of consuming, watching things, consuming alcohol perhaps, always being on your hobby and not focusing on the business. It permits you to confront your fears. If you're in discomfort, it means you're learning something. So I came here 2.5 years ago, and I left a small town, just taking a leap, knew barely anything in real estate. Like, I would have went in the basement and you would have asked me to point, hey, where is the return duct for the furnace? Or where is the air exchanger down here? I couldn't even point that out to you. And now today I've been going on inspections with some inspectors. I've been learning so much. It hasn't been comfort. It has been like a wake-up call. Hey, whoa, you didn't know anything about the products that you're trying to sell. You're trying to sell houses and rent out houses, but you don't even know what an air exchanger is. Well, that's humbling. But now, because I faced the fact that I didn't know it, and I made sure I was there during some inspections. I made sure to study. I've reached out to my parents, my dad, to show me all the areas around the hotel that they used to own in the Northern Ontario and Hearst. That helped me understand systems, and it's important to understand the product that you're selling. But this is just an example. People that choose to stay in a job and stagnate and stay there for years and years and do not bring their ideas, if they have a calling to bring an idea and they don't fulfill that, the need to do it, um, they actually end up stagnating because they're stuck in comfort, right? They're comfortable with the salary they're making. They're comfortable with the office environment that they have. They're comfortable with the friends that they have over there. They're comfortable with their duties at work, and that it's not volatile and that it doesn't change on a day to day too much. So it's very predictable. And comfortability like that is what kills ambition. So embrace discomfort. Technology and the leverage of it. So today we live in a period where AI is in its earlier stage. We have um, at the at our fingertips. We have every single book that lawyers have ever read. We have every single books that's ever been written. We have free accountant advice. We can grind the silicon overlord, which is AI, to our benefit. And we're on par with anyone. We're on par with Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, as far as I know, with all that information, because everyone has access to that technology. So embrace that technology and use it to your advantage. Ask it to help you bring your ideas to the marketplace. Ask it to help you generate new ideas. Ask it to help you with your finances. Ask it to help you with legal matters. Ask it to help you with anything. Take advantage of it. Don't get left behind. Make sure to use that technology. Imagine being in the 1900s and cars get invented, and you say, you know what? Can't be better than a horse. I'm sticking to horses. And now we're today in the 21st century, and you don't even have a vehicle, and you're using a horse still. Well, you're being left behind. Or we're in the 1990s and the internet is starting out, and you have the once in a lifetime opportunity to kind of launch your first business on the internet, where it's an equal playing field. Not many people know how to use the internet, how to launch a business there. And if you choose to learn it and use it as much as you can to your benefit as soon as possible, and you pass it down to your bloodline, that is how you can outperform the historical norms if you use the technologies of the future. So here's one last point that I want to make, and that's been very helpful in my journey so far. I'm very strong into manifesting the future. I love manifesting the future. I think it's a great way to reassure your sphere, your loved ones, your family, your partner. If you let them know that you have belief personally in yourself, and you know what you're going to be doing, you know how you're going to attain it, and you explain it directly to them, well, you gain confidence because you are expanding your vision, and you are telling yourself over and over that you're able to attain it. So that's beautiful. That's A1. But the second thing is your sphere, partner, family also starts believing in you, because every single time that you told them that you would do something, you fulfill it, you do it, and it's just positive reinforcement back to back, which is wonderful spot to be in. Manifesting my future has been one of the most useful things I've ever done to attain what I want. It creates momentum, and it also brings opportunities to you. You know, if you're talking to some people, you're very ambitious, you know, you're sat at a restaurant with some family members and there's a couple of friends there as well, and you tell them your vision and how you're going to bring it and whatnot. Maybe someone at the table, it's going to click into them and they're going to say, hey, I want to associate with that guy. I want to give him an opportunity. They may be higher placed, they may have a business already, they may want to give you a stepping stone to reach that goal. And if you were not to talk about it, well, they don't know what your goal is. So why would they give you an opportunity? You know what I mean? The only catch to that, you have to fulfill what you say that you're going to do. So I will practice it right in front of you here. I will manifest the future of the Asset Ambitions group to show you how I do it, and hopefully you can gain from it. So the Asset Ambitions group has the goal of giving a digital first approach, meaning it's going to be specified for buyers, sellers, and renters, commercial or residential, but most of the material is going to be digital. So there's going to be a whole lot of educational content online. And my rationale with that is if there's educational content, that's value provided to the marketplace of ideas. And so the consumer, which is the people that are on social media watching those videos, if they gain some value out of it, they'll find a way to use the services of the business that's providing them value. That's always been like that historically. But I see a lot of businesses at the moment that are in an older method that do not use that social media to kind of disconnect their time to generating new clients. So the goal is to have clients come to me because I've provided value on a platform to them in advance. And I think that is going to be very advantageous. And I have a passion of helping people. So I will be following that passion, whatever way that is. You know, in this podcast here, the passion, the way that I do it is sharing my ideas like that, having guests that are business oriented entrepreneurs that give insights on how to be an entrepreneur. It's just a beautiful way of bringing value to the viewership, and hopefully that you can recognize it. And if you, as I said earlier, if you can get one of the points that I mentioned during this podcast and hold on to it, I'm glad I've succeeded with this episode here. So the other thing that the Asset Ambitions group will do is invest the proceeds in scarce assets. That is Limoges real estate, as this is where the team is actually based. And that is also Bitcoin. And let me expand upon that and why I will be doing that. So first, I want to focus on Limoges. Limoges is a small town east of Ottawa. There's been much less expansion than west of Ottawa, which is Canada, Barrhaven, Nepean, and among many other towns there. But in the eastern region, I can see so much expansion coming. There's many builders that are coming in that area, and I can see all the commercial services coming in the next few years as well, following right behind. And if that does happen, I believe there's going to be a surge in the worth of the assets in that specific town. Another reason is that there is a lack of water permits in Limoges, meaning builders have a limited amount of houses that they can build, more so than pretty much any other town that I know of, because there's a lack of water in that town. So there's constant higher demand to that town because it's right along the 417, which is a 2-lane highway that brings you to Ottawa in 25 minutes. So a lot of government workers are actually interested in going there. A lot of people that rent that want to save because it's cheaper to rent there than Ottawa. That's where they want to be. So tenants are always there. And there's not many businesses. Well, I mean, if there's also a cap to the amount of houses that are being created there or being built there, that means it's a scarce asset to own a house in that town. That's pretty much what it means. So I want to be capitalized on that. Now, let me expand upon the Bitcoin vision as well. Bitcoin is actually a digital property. It's very similar to real estate, though it is a digital form. And as I said, it's a digital first approach with this business. And I think it's important that I am capitalized with digital capital. So it is an uncensorable, decentralized asset that is on a network of computers worldwide, backed by stronger things than any other government. No government can topple it. No organization like the CIA or whatnot can topple it. It's too big. It's too big. It's uncensorable. So that means I can save my money there to be able to have a longer vision of the future. So here's the traditional approach to saving money in corporations. What they do is they buy treasury bills, we call them. It's 3 to 5 years, maybe sometimes 1 year treasury bill, which gives you, a treasury bill is actually buying a bond in your country. So your country, you're lending it money and it's paying you interest, and it'll pay you what you've lent it to them when it comes due. So 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 7 year, and there's up to 30 years, but businesses don't do that. They typically stick to the shorter term. So that gives you a guaranteed income, right? It gives you some interest. But what happens if the interest rate is 2% that it gives you, or 3%, heck, even 5%? But what happens if the inflation rate is actually 10%? Well, that means that your business's treasury is actually going down in value on a year-to-year basis. Now, if you're investing in a scarce asset like Bitcoin, that there can't be any more, no matter how much demand there is for that asset, there won't be any more created. There won't be more that will come into the marketplace. That means the price has to go up because more demand comes into the network as more and more people accept that it is the future. So if a business is capitalized on digital capital like that, that means that they're not being inflated away because there is no inflation in that network. So even the government has nothing to say about your corporation and its treasury, as it's a treasury that is completely decentralized. What this gives is it gives people a way to view and bring their vision to the future. So what happened in the past is the US dollar was actually pegged to the gold, actually, the worth of gold. So in 1971, the US dollar was unpegged from gold, meaning the government could just print those dollar bills and there was no significant impact because no one could exchange gold for dollars anymore with the country. So that made it so every single country around the world started inflating their currency, making every scarce asset go up in price disproportionately to the incomes of their population. And that's why a lot of people are having a hard time seeing themselves buying a house today, the young people, I mean. Having a currency that cannot be inflated is what permitted us to build Notre Dame in France, is what permitted us to build the Eiffel Tower, the Statue of Liberty, beautiful architecture, because the dollar was backed by something that is tangible, something that is scarce, something that requires time to mine. It requires manpower to go down in the mines, hit the rocks, find gold, bring it up, make sure that it's genuine gold, and weigh it, and it's actually worth human effort, right? Dollars today are not worth human effort. Bitcoin is worth computation effort, and more computers are being created on a day-to-day basis. So that's a network I believe is going to grow. And I believe that's going to give the Asset Ambitions group a way to have a longer view of the future and bring something beautiful to the market. Bring beautiful, something adequate to beautiful architecture, like I just named, but in the form of a business. Today, what we're seeing is big box stores built with metal sheathings and metal roofs and slap a logo on there and here's the monopoly. Please come consume from this business. The businesses have now Do not worry or do not even mind pleasing the aesthetics needs of the population. I go here in Ottawa and what I see is big buildings with poured concrete and metal rods inside of them. There's a logo slapped on top of it for the branding of the business, and that's all it is. The Parliament is a beautiful building. I'm in awe every time that I go there. It's beautiful, it's inspiring, it's amazing. It's on the side of the water. It's a beautiful sight. We want more of that. We want sound money. Look into Bitcoin. So we are now at the conclusion of the podcast. So just to put an end to this, manifest your future. It's going to pay off. Hopefully you got something from the podcast. And please come back for more insights like that, because this is not the last episode. This is only the 15th, and it's going to grow to be something much bigger. My commitment to helping people with their real estate needs and their dreams and visions will just I'll keep feeding that flame. I'll keep feeding that flame forever. So if you are a seasoned entrepreneur and you have some insights that you could give to the young entrepreneurs out there that have a vision, that don't know how to attain it, say it in the comments. Please leave a comment. Let them know how to reach their goals, things that you have learned. And for you young entrepreneurs, leave a comment of your vision and what is it that you want to bring to the market and how you think that you're going to bring it. Manifest your future. It works. Trust me. Thank you very much for listening, and let's build a stronger future together.